Welcome to another episode of the Pixelated Porch Podcast. Today you are joined by fellow nerd gamers Ricky, Chris, and myself, Michael. And today on the podcast, we're going to be talking and diving into Apple. The company Apple and their products, kind of doing a review of a couple products and getting some thoughts with the nerds over here on some products that may or may not be releasing here soon. So before we do that, let's catch up with the nerds at the Pixelated Porch. Ricky, what have you been up to?
So talked a little bit last time about converting some old VHS tapes to DVD. So that's been a bit of a nightmare. I am not having any luck whatsoever. I actually got my first customer. And it was basically they wanted to convert an old VHS tape to DVD. So I actually ordered it's like a DVD like VHS combo recorder. And what it basically allows you to do is you can actually play your VHS and you'll insert a DVD and you can actually just record straight to the DVD as you're playing the VHS tape. So I did a test run. I played my tape, my old first birthday tape, which was actually really weird because I was a small little child and sitting in my backyard with some person, I have no idea who they are, dressed up as a clown, blowing bubbles into my face. I was like, that's
scary.
Very, very strange. They didn't say a word the entire time. Everybody's just on the back porch drinking beer, and then the camera pans, and there I am in the middle of my backyard with some who the hell, some John Wayne Gacy.
They didn't have any. The clown wasn't carrying any red balloons with him or anything like that, right?
No balloons, but they did have pink curly hair. I honestly couldn't tell if it was a girl or a boy. I have no idea. But yeah, that was very strange.
Did you ask either of your parents about it? Like, hey,
no,
do you guys remember this?
I haven't brought it up. I don't know if I want to.
Too traumatic. Just that's why I don't like clowns. Ugh.
Mommy, Daddy, do you remember the clown? Ha! Yeah, so that was strange. So I was recording that to DVD, and then all of a sudden the tape just stops working. It just stops playing, and all I'm getting is just the only thing I know, it's the fuzzy, I call them the flea races, where it just goes, and it's all the fuzzy red,
the white static,
black and white. Yeah. And now every tape that I put in there now is doing the exact same thing. So I actually took apart VCR because it started doing the exact same thing. So I took it apart, tried to fix it. I looked up some tutorials online on how to do it. Basically get some rubbing alcohol and clean the headers, or basically the pieces that actually read the tapes. Mm-hmm. Put everything back together, and it's worse than ever. So I'm just getting off to a great start. So I ordered some specialty items on Amazon that should be getting here next week, and hopefully I'll be able to clean it out and get back on track once those come in. But so far, not so great. So hoping that'll turn around. So some other stuff, I started actually playing my EverDrive. I went ahead and pre-downloaded and got situated a whole bunch of different ROMs, different games and modified versions of games that I wanted to play. But there was one game in particular that I've been playing a ton of. It's a little unknown gem on the N64. It's called Beetle Adventure Racing. It is probably one of the most underrated games on the system, in my opinion. But it's made by EA back in the day. There's no microtransactions this time around, but you literally play as just the Volkswagen Beetles. And you would think that that's basically just a commercial in video game form for those cars. But it's actually pretty damn fun. I had it as a kid. But the way that this game is set up is you have to actually have, they call them a controller pack. It's basically a memory card that you have to plug into the back of your controller. Mm-hmm. So I remember as a kid, I never had one of those. So I would just kind of play. But then as soon as I had to turn off the console, all of my progress was just deleted. So I never got to get around to actually beating and finishing the game. But I actually went yesterday. Me and Amanda went to a retro game store. We got another N64 controller and one of those controller packs. So I've been playing the hell out of some Beetle Adventure Racing and getting the high scores. And I've made it all the way now to the bonus championship races. So I know it's a pretty big deal.
So when you said Beetle Racing, I literally was not thinking Volkswagen Beetle.
Like
You
the
know,
the Beatles.
I literally thought
No, I was
insect.
like the insect. Yeah, I was thinking the insect too. I was sitting there like dung beetle racing. Just like
Yeah, I was just like
boy, that
riding a
sounds
beetle or just like
real
driving
boring.
like
You see
controlling
the
a beetle
reviews
as
like
racing.
Dung Beetle Racing. This game's the shit.
I'm thinking like Pikmin, like how it's like all like everything's miniature, I was thinking like that, but like with bugs. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I
don't
mean,
know.
I could see that. I could see how that you could get confused with that.
Now, what they should
But-
do is remaster that game and put microtransactions in it, so you can get different types of beetles, and you can have different beetle skins.
spinning
You know?
rims. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Maybe. It's
Well, I
like
was
some
still.
spinners.
Water it down
or,
as much as you can.
Well, I
That
was still thinking like insect beetles, like get like
Oh,
a different shell on your beetle, and
yeah, like
you know,
rhino beetles.
Yeah.
you said dung beetles. Maybe even like cockroaches.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get different skins on them and
Yeah,
and
why
stuff. Maybe have their
Why not? It's EA.
eyes
If they can
change
charge you
colors.
for it, they will. That kind of reminds me though, like you're saying that kind of reminds me of a game called Midtown Madness that I played a long time ago, and it was kind of an underrated racing game, but it was a hell of a lot of fun to play.
Was that PS2?
I played it on the original Xbox long time
Okay.
ago.
I don't know that I've played that one in particular, but that I guess when you said that, my mind immediately went to Midnight Club. I don't know if you've played those or not, but yeah, I used to be really big into racing games when I was younger. Not so
Midnight
much these
Club's
days,
not those clown ones, are they?
No, it's Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal. That's right.
Okay. Yeah, I never played that one. There's a couple on the Xbox I never played. Like I remember, I want to say it was actually like a launch title for it as well. It's called Project Gotham Racing. I hear very good things about that, but I never actually got a chance to play it. But this game in particular, it's kind of a mix between, almost like an arcadey Gran Turismo sort of way. Like, and I say that because like some of the cars actually have like weight and momentum to them, like you have to account for. It's not like a kart racer where it's like super arcadey.
Yeah.
So I guess it's kind of a mix between like cars with physics, but like different cars have different stats. So some have better top speed, acceleration, or handling. And as you progress through the game, you can get better and better cars. But on top of that, you actually like the game as far as the tracks go. Like it kind of starts off. The first one is it's called Coventry Cove, or no, it's Coventry Cove. But it's basically just, I kind of imagine it's like an England like countryside. Just like a typical racing game, nothing out of the ordinary here. And then all of a sudden, like you go to like a level that's like straight up Jurassic Park. Like you actually go through like the giant like wooden gates with like the flaming torches and everything. Like a giant T-Rex like pops his head out of the forest, like where the electric gate is, and there's like volcanoes and jumps and cave systems with skulls.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
It's really fun.
That
So,
sounds like
and then-
Cruising USA.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, but actually good. So I actually, that's another game that I actually got as far as the ROMs that I loaded onto this thing. And Amanda was really wanting to play that, and we loaded it in, and like literally after playing like the Beetle Adventure Racing, we popped in cruising, and it was like, ooh, yeah, this kind of sucks. This game is not as good as we remember it. But yeah, as far as that, like I would definitely say like the same type of vibe for sure. But yeah, that was a really damn fun game. There's actually another one that's like in Egypt. There's like falling pillars and like sarcophaguses and stuff, sphinxes. I don't know. It's a badass game. I've been having a lot of fun with it. But moving on from that, I could talk more and more about that game, but I know we got other stuff to talk about. So I watched a couple of things. So I started actually watching a show called Mr. Robot. It's pretty cool. I don't know if either of you fellas have watched this, but It actually reminds me a lot if Dexter, the serial killer Dexter, was instead of a serial killer who works in the police force, so he kind of gets like the inside scoop on everything. He is like a vigilante hacker, if you will, who works by day as a cybersecurity engineer. So, you know, he kind of knows what to look for. Like, he's got the inside scoop on everything. But then by night, he actually goes and, like, hacks
So he's not a robot.
Is that guy who played Freddie Mercury in that movie? Yeah, so I've seen, like, the first... maybe I got through the first season? I don't know. Yeah, it was a pretty good show.
Yeah, he has the eyes of a French bulldog.
Yeah, those things are about to pop out. And he's like, don't hit him in the back of the head or those eyes are going to pop out. But yeah, it's really cool. I've been really enjoying it. Like, there's the whole, like I said, like Dexter kind of vibe to it. There's like some family drama mixed in there as well. And then I guess one of the things as well is he like kind of gets recruited into this universe's like anonymous, like the anonymous hacker group. Like, he gets to be a part of that. So that I don't know. It's kind of cool seeing how everything plays out and how he navigates through everything.
I can't remember why I stopped watching that though. I think I don't even know if I got through the first season, or at least I finished it and there wasn't a second season. But it was just like one of those like, oh, this is interesting, and then I just never watched it again.
Yeah, it just kind of fell off. Yeah, I don't know. I'm only like 3/4 into the first season as of right now, and according to Amazon Prime, thank you, Chris, there are 4 seasons as of right now. But maybe we'll see. Maybe season 2 is like really bad or something. I don't know. I pretty much just went in completely blind. I just kind of piqued my interest because I watched the Little Things, and of course I've seen other stuff with Denzel and Jared Leto, but I've never actually seen. Damn it! And I still do not remember this actor's name, but I've never seen this guy in anything else. So I was surprised. Kind of just jumped in, and I like it. So I actually watched another movie that we actually talked about last time, where Chris had mentioned that I'm going through a phase of watching movies that sound like other movies, but they're not as good. And
was I
Chris, right? Max? Okay. So Max Payne was a movie that I watched. It's got Mark Wahlberg. Involves some drugs and demons and stuff. It was an enjoyable movie. I wasn't blown away. I mean, I honestly, I kind of forced myself to watch. I was like, okay, I have to watch this because I have to talk about it on the podcast. I started it. I got to finish it. But I don't know. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't the best. I don't know. It just came off as cheesy, like a cheesy action movie was kind of the vibe I got from it. Like, it wasn't, okay. I kind of went into it thinking that would be a little bit more deep, because it is actually very, very similar. Like we were talking about to, what was the movie that I watched? Synchronic. It is very similar as far as structure goes. Like, there's like this drug that's going around and causes people to go crazy and whatnot. But Max Payne, I would say that the main difference is Max Payne kind of took more of an action take on it, which isn't a bad thing. But then as far as Synchronic goes, it was more of like a somber, I guess, dramatic take, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
there were some cool.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say there were some cool action set. Like, I know the one scene in particular that I was like, oh, that's from the game. It's like there's a scene where there's like a SWAT team that goes up to the top of a skyscraper office building.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Like, the slow-mo scenes and everything in that was pretty cool. But he does like the whole, like, he just jumps and is like planking in midair and just like shoots the lock up of a door and goes flying through it.
Yep.
So yeah, it was cheesy, but I enjoyed it at the same time. You know what I mean? It was good. And then I
don't really like action movies. And I mean, that movie's fine, but yeah, I'm sitting there watching it, and they do that stuff just to satisfy the sake of it has to be kind of like the video game. There's another scene where this guy, he's up on like this catwalk, and Max jumps backwards and shoots the shotgun. This is so dumb. It takes so long. Like, get it over with. He shot him. Let's go. Come on, plot. Where are you?
Like, that one scene, like that one little I guess, battle or encounter literally took like a minute. Because like he's sitting there and he's looking around and he hears the guy on the catwalk and he like as he's jumping backwards, points the gun straight up in the air and shoots this guy up on the catwalk. So, but yeah, it was a cool premise. Did they ever make a sequel to that movie?
I don't think to the movie.
It's like I watched the after credit.
I know the game they made a sequel about Mona or something. I don't know. I never played the second game. Like the first game was enough for me, and I was done with it.
Yeah, see, I never played any of them, so I just that was my first venture into Max Payne. The only thing I knew about Max Payne was like the whole like jumping around and shooting in slow motion. That was like the only thing I knew about it. So when that came up, I was like, oh, that's from the video game. So yeah, that was my media for the week. That's what I was up to. Christopher, what about you, sir?
Dude, it has been an insane week. It feels like it's been a month in 1 week. So work-wise, I've been working from home this week, but so with my job, I'm basically like a trainer for the entire company. So we're a nationwide company, and I either go to stores and I teach people how to repair Apple products. I teach technicians how to repair Apple products, or I will teach like groups of people virtually. So recently we've wanted to get into making like training videos, which is content I kind of already had, but like I have been spending every day editing videos, voice recording videos, and like it's I think something like 30 videos I got to make, and it just seems to never end. Yeah. Damn. It's insane. I like editing. I don't mind doing voiceover stuff. It's just like, I don't know. It gets really monotonous after a while.
Are they at least giving you like scripts or anything to go off of?
No. I pretty much have to figure everything out. Every aspect of it. Basically, bosses said make training content, and that was about all I had. So everything else is all the graphics, slides, pictures, like everything I've had to make from scratch. So it's
Wow.
I'm just gonna say everybody loves like the 1990s and the 1980 training videos. So if you could just mimic those and make them as cheesy as possible.
Yeah, I need to get like a
everybody would love
VHS recorder and like have it where the audio does that weird thing where it like dips out. Yeah, I need to do that. Yeah,
I think everybody would love that.
So I mean that's been most of my week. Of course we got the puppies. We did name the boy, by the way. So he is not Banjo.
Wow.
Damn it.
Wow.
I know. But so he is pretty much all black. He's a German Shepherd kind of mix,
You
but he's
named him
all
Midnight.
black and he's got brindle paws.
Nightmare.
When it is nighttime, you cannot see that dog
Shadow.
worth a damn. So his name, and there's a Louis Armstrong song, a Halloween song that my wife and I both like, called Spooks. So the dog's name is Spooky. Spooky and Kazooie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
It's a cool name. It fits
Spooky,
him. I don't mind it.
AKA Banjo and Kazooie.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I mean, Spooky's not bad. That's after a gunship. I mean, you had the Spectres, the Spookies, and the Whiskies. So now you have the Ghost Rider.
I love the word spooky. I don't know what it is. It is such a fun word to say. Yo, that's spooky, bro.
It fits him pretty well. But dude, it's like having babies, dude. Like they have been waking my wife and I up at like 6 a.m, 5 a.m, and like crying, and then they got to go out at all hours. They got to eat at certain times. It's just like my wife, she's been doing a lot more of the work than I have, and like I'm already like fed up with it. So
welcome to dogs.
It doesn't get any easier. Brandy does the same thing. She's been like a beast at, like, Biscuit will be like, okay, cool, time to get up. Like, I want to go eat. I want to go play. What time is it? 5 o'clock in the morning. You know. And he'll get up and start playing, and he'll start throwing his toy around, and so you hear the his toys, and like he like shakes back and forth and then throws it, and then you hear it like hit the wall or something like that. So he's just like throwing his shit around, and just playing like hardcore in the morning, and has to get up at like 5 o'clock. Maybe we'll let Brandy sleep into like 6:30, maybe. Yeah, it's It doesn't get any easier.
I mean, the good thing is we have all this property. The bad thing is we don't have a gate up yet, and they're probably too young to be out there by themselves. Dude, once these dogs get older, like, go outside. Be outside for the day, and I will see you later. Like, go out there.
Just wait. So Biscuit, when he was more of a puppy, Biscuit's like just turned 2, right? So when we got him, and he was probably like, I think we got him when he was like 6 months old or like 4 months old, somewhere around there. Biscuit enjoyed this game where he would wake us up, and I would get out of bed to take him outside. Now we lived in the basement of my wife's sisters. And so I'd go up in the middle of the night, and of course I hate the cold, so I'm wearing my slippers and I'm wearing my robe to let the dog out at 2 o'clock in the morning.
I do the same thing.
And so he goes outside, and there's probably like 1.5 feet of snow on the ground. He goes outside, does his business, and then you're like, come on, Biscuit, let's go inside. He just sits down and stares at you.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm going to punt you over the yard.
Yep, it's like 10 degrees outside, and I'm like freezing my ass off because I'm just wearing a robe and slippers. And then it turned into, let's chase the dog around the yard because I'm picking your ass up and we're going inside if you're not coming willingly. And so it turned into, oh, Dad's outside, and he would run to the far end of the yard. And I would get close to him on that side, and then it turned into a game, and then he would run to the other side. Mind you, I'm still in a robe and slippers, trudging around 1.5 feet of snow, negative 10 degrees outside at 2 a.m. in the morning.
Biscuit, God damn it, Biscuit.
Pretty much, yep. Just trying to chase him, and he would not come inside. I mean, it took so much training to get him to come. Like, come. Good boy, but no, it turned into like a 30-minute fiasco because I'm chasing the dog around the yard because he does not want anything to do with the inside. He'd rather just play in the snow at 2 o'clock in the morning.
DeWalt. God damn it.
Gun.
So yeah, the dogs have been a handful. Luckily, I'm not doing most of the parenting, so when my wife listens to this, thank you for dealing with it, and I don't have to. Anyway, so media-wise, I got HBO Max because I found out that a show that I like very much is only available on there, which is Squidbillies. That show is hilarious. And have you guys ever showed your significant other like a movie or a TV show, and you're like, you're not gonna like this? And then they do. It's a weird feeling. I've had that happen like once in my entire life.
It's always the reverse for me. You're going to love this. And I hate it.
Oh, they're texting halfway through the movie. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, God.
Brandy's been doing that. We've been watching Scrubs, and it's like we're watching, I think it's like season 3, episode 12, right? And it's like one of the highest rated episodes. And it's like the most, like, so much rests on this episode. And I'm like, all right, babe, we got to watch this movie. Okay. Or watch this show. Or watch this episode, 20-minute episode. And then she's, like, texting in the middle of it. And I'm like, babe. Like, hey. Like, this is a big part. What? Oh, hey, yeah, I'm watching. Like, no, you're texting right now. You have to watch this. You have to see this part. You could skip any other episode but this one.
This show's stupid. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So we've been watching Squidbillies. I guess it's funny just because I feel like this is one of those shows that unless you live in the southeast of the United States, you will not understand why this show is funny. I have literally met every character on this show just by living here in the southeast, which is why it's so goddamn hilarious. And I don't think, like, my wife, she's lived in Florida pretty much all her life until, we started being together, and then she moved up here, and, like, I think if I tried to show it to her when she lived in Florida, it wouldn't have been funny. But now that she's been around long enough, it's pretty funny.
That's a great show.
Yeah, I love Squidbillies.
I didn't know it was on HBO Max, so thanks for that.
It is. All of it is. Which also, they just fired the voice actor for Early Kyler for tweeting racist things. Like, ugh. Let me go ahead and say, like, don't be a racist asshole. Like, there's no reason to do that. But at the same time, if I were to find out that the voice actor for early Kyler was racist, it really wouldn't surprise me, because that's literally the whole show. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
He was method acting.
I don't know. Like he was racist. That doesn't shock me at all. I found out another show that's on HBO Max. Usually this is what happens. We'll be watching things in the evening around 10 o'clock in the afternoon, evening. My wife starts falling asleep while we're watching what we're watching, and then I'm up till about 3 in the morning because I can't sleep. So I can't keep watching the shows that we're watching together because we're watching those together. And if I keep watching it without her, then that's against the rules. Yeah. So I have to go find other things to watch.
I just got to start watching shows in secret.
Yeah, exactly. So I usually do that with shows, and then like, what are you watching? This show.
You're not gonna like it.
That's exactly what I'm doing with Mr. Robot right now. Oh, what's this?
This week I've just been tired, so I don't want to watch a documentary or think. So I went scrolling through HBO Max. I found one of my all-time favorite shows is on there as well, and that's Space Ghost Coast to Coast. That,
nice.
Like, when people just talk about, like, South Park just being dumb humor, you turn it on and just turn your brain off and just, like, chuckle at it. That is Space Ghost Coast to Coast. And, like, my wife watched a couple episodes, and she absolutely hates it. She's like, the whole show's premise is just being awkward silence and, like, people being awkward to each other. That is hilarious. Yes.
I'm going to have to watch this now. Space Ghost from Coast to Coast.
Just Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Yeah. And, like, he interviews... It's, like, a 90s show. It's very much a 90s show. Like, there's an episode where he interviews Weird Al Yankovic, and, like, I don't know. It's aged not well, but it's still funny. Even if you don't know who the people he's interviewing are, like, just the whole cast is just awkward. It's funny.
Yeah, I remember that show as a kid, but I think I was too young to understand, like, the dry, sarcastic humor. But, like, I'll see clips of the show every now and again on YouTube or whatever, and it is hilarious. I didn't actually realize that was on there too. I'm gonna have to check that out.
I just pulled it up on HBO Max on my iPad, and I was like, I've seen some of it.
It's been on Hulu with, like, the paid, like, I got Hulu Premium, but, like, there's also the live TV one, which is asininely priced. I don't have that, and I've wanted to watch it, but then I found it on there, and holy grail, I was quite excited. I've been watching that. It's funny. It's a good show.
So there's another show on HBO Max that I will recommend to you. It is nowhere even near the vein of the shows you're describing, but it's a 5-part series called Chernobyl. It's like I said, like 5 episodes. I believe they're like an hour and a half a piece.
Mm-hmm.
Damn good series.
Really? I'll have to check it out
once she goes to sleep or something.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like I said, it's just been a crazy busy week. My dad came up over the weekend to help us build the shed, so we've been out there doing that. Actually, today, like right before we started doing the podcast, I quickly got a shower and came in and started recording. But we've been building the shed all weekend, which is fun. My dad and I used to do a lot of projects around the house. We built like a deck and redid a bunch of stuff, so it was good to get him back out here and have him help out with the project. It was fun. Had a campfire going, of course, up in the mountains. Nice, cool breeze blowing. It was really good, really fun. Just exhausting as all hell.
Yeah, the weekend weather has been so nice. Like yesterday and today, like the sun feels so good. Like it feels like it's summertime until the wind blows, and it's like, oh god, never mind.
Still a little cold.
Yeah, it's been nice. I smell of campfire, so it's good.
Nice.
Good weekend.
Sounds fun.
Michael, sir, I have talked for a lengthy amount of time. How was your week?
Whew. Yet again, I had a very busy week. They had me for work. Let's see, shit. I flew out to Tennessee. That's right. I started my week in Tennessee. Flew out Monday, worked on site on Tuesday. Flew out down to Houston on Wednesday, worked on a site on Thursday, and then flew home on Friday. So busy, crazy week there. And then this weekend, actually, I watched a movie. I watched 2 movies, 3 movies, 2.5 movies on my flights down to Houston. I tried watching An American Pickle that has Seth Rogen in it.
Yep. Okay.
I got like 10 minutes into that movie, maybe 15, and I was just like, no. So I'm not a big fan of those movies that have those where the lead actor plays multiple roles. I wasn't a big fan of Dr. Dolittle with Eddie Murphy. It was Dr. Dolittle, right?
Yeah.
No. What was
No.
Nutty was it the one with his family?
Nutty Professor.
Nutty Professor. That's right, Nutty Professor. With Eddie Murphy, was not a big fan when he's playing like 7 characters around the table and he's like, oh, ha, ha, and they're all the same people, just different like masks on and shit. I'm just like, so I wasn't a big fan of that one. I just couldn't. It just seemed like he overacted to me.
Yeah.
And so I got to the part where he met his long lost sibling, or his relative,
his granddad,
and
his grandfather.
Yeah, something like that. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I was like, not interested. It did not keep me. But I did rewatched Good Morning Vietnam with Robin Williams, an older movie. I think like in the 80s. Late 80s, I think it was. So I watched that one. I watched it when I was younger, but it'd been a while, so I watched that one. Hilarious, loved it. And a good movie, actually, I guess it just came out, was Chaos Theory with Ryan Reynolds.
Is it based off of Splinter Cell by chance?
No, it's the premise is Ryan Reynolds plays a father, and his daughter's getting married, and so basically, like, it opens up with him talking to the son, or not the son, the
groom to be.
The groom, yep, and then he basically takes him on like a let's go on a story, and so it basically talks about all this crazy shit, on how he got to where he is today or where it is, and it was actually pretty funny and very interesting. So I watched that. So I did watch the movies, but then this weekend I ended up, Jesus Christ, I feel like I did so much this weekend. Oh yeah, so I did oil changes on 2 cars out of 3. Still have my wife's oil change to do when I get back next weekend. And then so did some maintenance on my vehicles, and then I decided to break down and I bought insulation for my garage. So I've spent the past 2 days layering my walls with insulation. So my garage,
getting
so
that good old fiberglass in your lung.
Oh yeah, dude. Of course, and I wasn't wearing a mask either, so I'm over there like, just coughing up the whole entire time. It's like I should be wearing a mask. I'm like, fuck that. It's the weekend,
I'm
American. So I have to wear a mask. Exactly. I have to wear a mask Monday through Friday. I'm not doing it on Saturday and Sunday too. Jeez, 3 weeks of straight of wearing a mask. Nope, thank you. So I just did the installation in the garage. I still have like a small corner to do, and mainly just like fit and like, it just ticks me off, like, because I'm a perfectionist at heart. So when I see that they improperly space 2x4s, and you're like, how hard is it to get every 2x4 15 inches spread apart, like, evenly? Nope, one's like 16, one's like 20, so then some pieces don't fit, so then you have to, like, the majority, the 90% of the 2x4s are all 15-inch, spaced 2x4s,
the worst.
But no, we got to have that one different one, or like, hey, let's make that. So, so all I had to do now is just like fill a couple main ones, but move some of the equipment that's behind them, and then cut up some more insulation so I can fit it in those little like 2-inch squares. So I'm gonna like use.
Are
you
gonna put like paneling over it or something?
Oh, I'm gonna
like plywood.
I'm gonna put sheetrock up, or drywall up.
So you won't see it at all.
Yeah, but it's just.
So what's it matter, Michael?
It's there.
Well,
I know it's there.
I know I'm not going to see it, but it's a pain in the ass having to like, put your, when you're putting it up and trying to staple it in, when you have faced insulation and you can't staple it to the inside of the 2x4s because it won't reach from end to end because the studs are too far spaced apart, but 90%. So what am I going to do? Pick up like 3 16-inch roll, width rolls, and then like, 20, 15-inch rolls. Like, fuck that. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, trying to figure out which ones are going to be for what, Like, just space them evenly, But it's older construction. So,
just need to tear it down and rebuild it.
I could, I could just tear down the brick on the outside of the house and relay it, because I probably do a much, much, much better job than some sort of professional masonry, team. So
just put the Minecraft skills to work.
Yeah, it's like, these are squares, that's your, like, this is easy. It's just like Minecraft, you know? Skip all the mortar and, bracing and whatnot, just stack them and be like, just brand new.
Punch the wood a few times, lay down the block, there you go, done.
Just a 3 foot by 3 foot by 3 foot block of concrete. Let me just set this here.
Yep.
Hey, if you could do that, though, you wouldn't need insulation, right?
Yeah, I know. So, I just I did a lot of work in the garage, trying to get my garage, because I really am just, being bugged that my garage isn't finished, and I can't build my benches, and I can't get my tools, because nothing's organized and all that fun shit. So, I hate that. I was working in the garage, and the things that piss me off most is, when I knock something over, and I had to go pick it up. So, I'm walking through something, I just tap something, and it falls over. Well, for me, it's always my boxes of screws or nuts and washers and bolts and stuff like that I have in, my bins or my buckets. And I had, a whole stack of them, and I'm walking through trying to get insulation up, and I'm working with my brother. And I literally just tapped, the side of this plastic container. It falls off the little shelf that I've got it sitting on. And, probably, 200 nuts and bolts and washers just go all over the garage floor, and I'm just whoa! I'm just so mad. And I was so mad earlier too, I was trying to pull something off my shelf, and I don't know if you guys have moving boxes, right? And you have those wardrobe boxes that have the metal bar that go in the the box, so you hang stuff. Yeah. So I've got a whole bunch of those, because I was it's metal. I can always just work on it and just make it into something or use it for something. So I've got probably 10 of them from my moving that I saved. Right. So I ended up trying to pull something off the shelf where that was connected to, and whatever I was pulling off, I can't remember what it was, had a cord, and it caught those hanger rails. And it threw the hanger rails on the ground. And I'm and I wasn't just ripping things out of there. I was trying to carefully take this thing out, and it caught it in the dumbest fucking way. The hook on the plug just caught it and pulled them all down. They went all over the floor, and I just I went from chill as a cucumber to 120% pissed the fuck off. I took one of those things, and I was just I held it like a baseball bat. And I'm squeezing it. I'm God. I was damn it, and I just swung it against one of the 2x4 pillars that I had in the garage, and just bent the living shit out of it, and then threw it down on the ground, and I was fuck you, and I was just okay, I'm good.
What have I done?
I was well, I'm not gonna use that one now, because it's it's lightweight steel or aluminum, whatever it is, and it just bent across the two. But that stuff just ticks me off. So I was if I don't have perfect organization, when I'd what you guys see behind me on the cameras right now, all that mess back there. Mm-hmm. Oh, I mean, looking at my camera right now on my screen, that is just pissing me off. I don't even want to look at that right now. This disaster back here just drives me through the wall. So I just, if I try to go find something in there, I'm going to knock over everything. So I just hate that. So it just bugs me. So that's what I spent my whole entire weekend doing, knocking things over in the garage and swearing a lot and trying to put up insulation while moving everything apart, because I don't have anything organized, and I can't because I don't have my shelves built yet or my benches. Yeah, it's a whole fuck fest that I've got going on in the garage right now. One step at a time. That's all I have to say. So, but that's pretty much about it for me. But let's get into our topic for today, which is Apple as the company, not our fruits and veggies that we love, or whatever fruits we love. Whatever. Fruits, veggies are the same thing. They're disgusting, except for fruit. So Chris, the big thing is what I'm really interested about, and Ricky, if you've got any experience with them, let me know. But Chris, you just picked up the Mac Mini with the M1 silicone Apple chip in it. And I want to know what your thoughts are on it, because, Apple came out and they've got their new processor that they've designed, and it actually benchmarked pretty well against the competitors, and actually, I believe, a little bit better than some of the competitors out there. And this is their first chip that they brought out, their first CPU that they brought online, specifically for Apple. So I'm kind of curious, because I have yet to have experience with it yet, and I'm kind of on the edge. I'm is it just another thing that Apple is going to push out and it's going to flop, and then they're going to have to go back to Intel's processors? How well does it all play together with the software, and all that fun stuff. So, Chris, take it, man. Tell me what you think about this new Mac Mini and the M1 processors that Apple's got.
So, I haven't got to use my Mac Mini that much yet. Like I said, with the busy week, I just haven't had the chance to do a data transfer. I'm going to start off with like the things that I'm not super thrilled about, but can easily be rectified is the port issue on this thing. There's 2 USB-C ports and 2 USB-A ports, and that's it as far as expandability. So the thing that kind of sucks is right now all of my peripherals use just USB-A. So like my webcam, my mouse, my keyboard, and then my microphone are all hooking through their own USB ports. So I'm going to have to take and get either a splitter or something for that, which, I mean, newer technology, it is what it is. Like when you get a new MacBook, you have to switch all to USB-C anyway, right? It is nice that they did keep some USB-A.
I mean, they're so common anyway. I mean, like, I don't think USB-A is like really even like phased out yet. I don't think we ever will, unfortunately.
No, but I mean, like, I have newer stuff that isn't. I'm not like using a keyboard from 20 years ago. Like I'm using a relatively new keyboard. And it's comes in USB-A. I don't know if you could get a regular keyboard in USB-C yet. So anyway, that's a little annoying. I'm gonna have to find some sort of adapter, something for it. They make some pretty cool ones that like clip on the bottom of the Mac Mini and put some ports on the front as well. So like if you're hooking up like an external hard drive or SD card, it's easier to get to. So that might be something cool. I end up doing. So I'm not sure what yet I'm going to do about the ports, which is one of the big reasons I haven't started using it. And I don't have a Thunderbolt cable, a Thunderbolt to USB-C cable more specifically, so I literally have no way to do a data transfer aside from taking the old Mac Mini apart, pulling its hard drive, putting it in SLED, and then transferring it that way. So
yeah, that'd be a pain. That'd be frustrating. Done that many times.
I don't know. I don't know if anyone has taken a Mac Mini hard drive out, but it is literally one of the worst things ever. Like, there's a tiny little circle on the back, and you have to get a square hard drive out of that past the logic board and a bunch of other things. So
it's even more fun to put back in.
Yeah, putting it back in is even worse because it just does not line up correctly.
Now, if I remember right, mine slid out though. I was able, like that Mac Mini that I've got, that you've got right now. If I remember right, you open it up on the bottom, you can actually slide out the whole entire internals out the back, I thought.
You can slide the logic board out, but you've got to take a lot of stuff loose. I mean, typically with like in the repair shops, we don't take out everything to get the hard drive out just because you're trying to get in and out in like the fastest way possible. And I mean, technically it is designed to where you can take out the hard drive that way. It's just, getting the little pins to line up correctly to get the thing in and out. Not great. So I just haven't had time to do that. Now the Silicon processors, dude, I'm very impressed with them so far. The speed coming off of the processor is so. I'm trying to think of the word I'm looking for. The processor handles a lot of the load, so that way the RAM doesn't get overloaded. And I feel like that's a problem with a lot of the older, like the iMacs and stuff, or like the older Mac Minis even. A lot of the processing is handed off to the RAM, so like you're always sitting at like maximum RAM running, and then your fan kicks on, and the thing's loud. And with any of the silicons I've used so far, just through the work that I do, I've tried stressing a couple of them out, and they just seem to chug on no problem, which is really nice. So when I do, because usually I'll have like Final Cut Pro up, I'll have like iMovie up and GarageBand, and like a bunch of really heavy hitting apps, and I'm pretty sure Silicon's going to be able to handle that with no problem. I got the mid-tier, so the 512 SSD with the 8 gigs of RAM, and I completely forget what processor it has. I am a little nervous about only having 8 gigs of RAM, especially because on the new Mac Mini it is integrated, so it's not removable. Which is kind of annoying, but at the same time, I know why they did it. If you put it directly on the board, it makes it a hell of a lot faster. As to where if it's removable, it has to go through those pins and ports and stuff, and it slows it down. So, I have no expandability there. Now, in the 2012, those were like some of the best Mac Minis. They had removable RAM. The 2014s that came out, which was the next model, took away the removable RAM, and like everybody lost their goddamn minds and hated that Mac Mini. And then they went with the space gray one, which I think was like 2017, 2018 timeframe, and they went back to where you could actually replace the RAM. So now this one's gone back to where you can't replace the RAM. I don't know. It's crazy.
I mean, like the Mac Mini that I bought was, you know, that 2014 model that you couldn't get the RAM in, and I didn't realize that when I bought it that you couldn't upgrade it. Because I was going with her out like, oh yeah, I'll just get the 8 gig RAM and then I'll just put a 16 or bigger in if I can put more than 16 in the Mac Mini, and I won't worry about it. You know, it's cheaper to go through a third party, get like Corsair RAM and stick it on Mac than it is to buy Apple RAM. You know, when you're spending like $1,000 on like 32 gigs, you can like spend $200 and get 32 gig chips. But I mean, like shit, man. Like if the processor's handling all the load and it's not offloading it on the RAM like the old iMacs are, like my iMac, like just sitting as like 16 gigs out of 32, and it's just sitting there with maybe like mail open or something like that, and I'm like, okay, like what the hell?
Yeah.
You know, like I can play modded Minecraft and play like 6 different games on Minecraft or on my PC and not surpass like 8 gigs of RAM. You know.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's just one of those like learning things. I have to recondition my brain that I don't necessarily need as much RAM as I used to because the processor's a lot more efficient. Now that being said, I work in a repair industry, so I know that there have been quite a few problems with those M1 processors, but there's a lot of problems with the iPhone 11s, and I have an iPhone 11, so you know it's one of those things. Like if you're ever gonna like let yourself not move to a product or upgrade or something because there's lots of problems with it, there's always going to be problems, you know. And you just kind of flip a coin, toss the dice, and hope that it doesn't happen to your device. You know, that's why you get warranty. These things are stupid expensive to repair on your own dime, and repair shops will charge you over $100 for labor because they're not easy to work on.
Yep, especially when everything is integrated.
Yes,
it is not cheap.
Yeah.
Because like on the older Apple products, motherboards are like expensive. Sorry, I didn't mean to overspeak.
Like my 15-inch MacBook Pro, it's a 2017. I mean, it's got 16 gigs of RAM, the 512 SSD, and I think it's the 3.6 processor. Dude, I have to run Parallels on that thing, and it runs like absolute garbage. It overheats. The battery dies really quickly because of how much it's using. I mean, Parallels is pretty rough on a machine because it's literally taking up half its RAM. But like even when I quit that software, something is screwy with it to where it does not run super great. A little bit of editing I could do a little bit on there, but really, like if I have to do any serious editing beyond just like opening like a really quick GarageBand or iMovie thing, I've got to go to the Mini. So that kind of makes me nervous too, because that's a lot newer technology than any other Apple product I have or computer right now. That, you know, the 15-inch MacBook Pro with everything integrated into one board, and it still doesn't run super hot. Yeah, I don't know.
Are you running Parallels on this too?
No, just
on the Mac.
No, just with my work, we have to. Some of our point of sale stuff goes through a Windows only program, which we're slowly phasing that out, but I still have to have it on there in case I have to look up like an old invoice or something for like a service customer, and like I want to delete it so bad, but I just can't right now.
Yeah, I was actually, so I looked up this computer earlier today because I wasn't really familiar with it at all. I haven't really been keeping up with Apple these past couple of years, but I saw because it's the new M1 processor that's not Intel based, that it's not able to actually use Boot Camp anymore.
Right.
And I was like, damn, that's kind of harsh.
There's a lot of strange screwy things, dude. Like the changing a processor, like you're thinking Apple product is an Apple product, but changing the processor changes a lot of the service stuff too. Like Ricky, I know you know this, like, oh, and Mike, you will too. Holding down Option to boot, like that is not how it does it anymore. You hold down the power button to Option boot. It's just, there's a lot of strange stuff that like you almost have to relearn how to work on product altogether to learn to work on the new stuff.
Yeah, that's a very Apple thing to do, I would say.
Yes.
I remember what do they do? There was something where they changed, like, instead of like to put a iPhone in like DFU mode, instead of holding like the power and the home button, it was like the power and like the volume down for like
volume
5 seconds.
Volume up, volume up, volume down. Hold down the side button. They don't call it power button anymore. Hold down the side button for 5 seconds. Then continue holding that. Press the volume down button and keep holding that for 10 seconds. Then release the side button and continue holding the volume down. It's like a goddamn Kamari code. Yes.
X, Y, B, 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 left trigger, right trigger,
Yeah, it's a pain. And like, if you get the timing even slightly off, it doesn't work, and you've got to try all over again.
And if you do it wrong 3 times, the phone explodes.
Yes.
So good luck.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how many times I've done that, where it goes into like emergency mode, and I'm trying to do the up, down, power button or whatnot, and then it's like, meep, meep, and I'm like, no. So I mean, like,
on their way.
I'm assuming then it's a good review then. You so far enjoying it, but you've got some about it.
I mean, I feel like that's with any computer, right? I mean, with everything that I got, I got the computer, the 3-year warranty through my company. I mean, I've been with them for 8 years. By the way, my 8-year anniversary was on the 3rd, so
yay!
Kind of interesting.
Round of applause.
No one noticed.
No
so, but I mean, we get certain discounts and things. I got that computer with the 3-year warranty for like $600. So,
nice.
like, for $600 worth of computer, I literally cannot complain.
Yeah.
Definitely worth it. The M1s, I'm thinking it's probably a better direction for Apple to go to get away from the Intel processors, because I mean, the PowerPC processors back, like, what was that, 2006, 2007? Like, those weren't that great. I didn't really feel like Intel was much of a move in an upward direction. It was just kind of something different. So I saw this really cool thing, though. I mean, I was looking for like accessories and things like that, just for managing my ports and stuff. There's a company called Animonics. I feel like I'm saying that wrong. Anyway, they make these docking stations for the Mac Mini that lets you power 2 graphics cards, like 2 regular PC graphics cards. So like the whole thing looks like the G5s, like the big like cheese grater Macs.
Yeah.
It looks like half of one of those. Yeah. The Mac Mini slides into the top and it holds 2 graphics cards. Like, that's pretty cool. But as I looked into it, it's on Kickstarter, and I don't give money to people on Kickstarter. So,
yeah.
Oh well. But I mean, it looks,
not after last time.
It looks pretty cool, and of course, when you do that, it adds a ton of different ports and stuff. That's for somebody who does like serious video editing or music or whatever, and like I could see myself getting that if it became an actual product. So. It seems like there's lots of interesting options out there now that Silicon's a thing. So we'll just have to see.
Pretty excited about that. So now that we've bored like half the listeners, or all of them, I want to hear your guys' crazy stories about working at Apple, or not Apple. You guys, is it both? Which one is it? They changed their names, didn't they?
I just say Apple. It's easier.
It doesn't matter. I'm taking the name of the company out anyway.
Yeah. So, but you guys, worked on our products. But I want to know about some crazy stories about some of the devices you guys have seen. Like have you guys seen like the earwax infested AirPods or phones? People come in and be like, "No, I didn't do this," and they're like, clearly you did. What's your guys' crazy stories on seeing some of these Apple products?
Chris, I'll let you go first.
All right. I just want to start by saying, if you ever get your computer or phone wet, taking it to a repair shop and telling them I didn't get it wet guarantees they know exactly what you did, that you got it wet. And then, when the repair person brings your wet computer in an open state back out to you and says, your computer's wet, telling us it's never been around liquid before is literally the dumbest thing you could possibly say. There's water inside your computer.
Look at it.
Dude, there's so.
I remember I had a liquid damage one time where it's the same thing. Yeah, I don't know. It's just not coming on. It's never been in water or anything. what water? What are you talking about? No, but I opened it up, and dude, I just got an explosion of like marijuana smell. Like clearly, like they had their laptop on the table and like knocked over their bong water.
Is that the dude with the bong water? Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like, yeah, I don't know. That's weird.
Gross.
Strange.
Absolutely gross.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
You'll open the wet ones and like it's got liquid in it. You can tell it's liquid and it ends up being like cat piss or something, and it's sitting in there for a while. That are like grape juice, or like Ricky, you saw the one with the milk, right?
Yeah, that was one of the I'd written down some of my more notable ones.
Yeah,
and that is actually the very first one I wrote down. So we had somebody come in, same thing, like, yeah, I don't know, it just won't come on. It might have gotten wet, but I don't know. So take it in the back, and I've taken the screws off the bottom plate, and like I go to take it off, and it's just like stuck. So I'm like, God, this thing will not. I pretty much had to like go and get a crowbar to like pry this thing off the bottom, which is not a good sign. So I open it up, and just the most putrid smell. Like I yank this thing off because it's been stuck, and I just yank it up, and then all of a sudden, like I just get slapped in the face, and it is the smell of just months old rotten milk. And I look down, and there is just an entire colony of maggots just crawling all over the inside of this thing. And I look at the bottom of the board that it's still in my hand, and they're on the bottom case as well. And I just put it right back, wrapped it up in a trash bag.
Wait, you said it was a MacBook?
Yeah, it was a MacBook, like a laptop. Yeah.
Oh my God. Maggots in a MacBook.
They spilt. I think it was like chocolate milk that they had spilt on it, and let it sit for over a month.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It just won't. I mean, it worked fine until I spilled milk on it. I don't know. I don't know what it could be.
It's crazy.
That was a great one. But yeah.
I was teaching a technician one time. I just got into a new store that I was managing, and I was teaching this technician how to do repairs. And on the iMacs, you take basically all of the edges off, and then you lean the display forward towards you, and the bottom's still connected. So he's taking the screws out and everything, and I'm explaining the process to him. And he basically pulls the display forward, and like 30 of those little cockroaches that are about the size of a Tic Tac come running out of the computer all the way up this dude's arms. This guy is like this big, huge, honking. He could easily be like, he's one of those people like you sit there and go, you could lift a car, couldn't you? Like, had the man bun and everything, the tattoos and everything. He shrieked like a little girl, dropped that display, and jumped out of his chair so fast. Yeah. Cockroaches and iMacs, that's a thing too. It's disgusting.
Oh my God. I never really thought, Jesus Christ, like I never really thought like you would find cockroaches or maggots at a computer. Yeah. Never thought of that.
Pretty gross. The other thing you find a lot of inside of like MacBooks when you open them up is for some reason big toenail clippings. That is a common thing to see inside of computers. Just those big crescent moon, like could wrap around the edges of a penny just in the computer. How? I don't know, but it's there.
Makes me want to do like a deep clean of all my Apple products to make sure there's nothing in there.
Yeah. I'm trying to think like other just like you just see so much like liquid damage and like just like insects and stuff that becomes pretty common. You get the AirPods and they're like full of earwax or whatever. The good thing is we're not required to put those in our ear, thank God. But you will have the customers who come in and be like, hey, my AirPods aren't working. And like, okay, well, we can get them shipped off, whatever. We can get them replaced. It'll take a few days. And like, okay, can't you just test them out here? I am not putting your AirPods in my ear. That is disgusting. And like, you look inside them, like they got like that, like it's not even like brown earwax. It's like green and like
gross.
Got like chunks in it. Yeah, I'm not putting
your
AirPods in my ear.
I don't know how people keep their AirPods so dirty because like every once in a while I find a little bit of buildup in my AirPods, But it's just a little bit, just I'm like, oh, cool, I didn't clean my ears this week, whatever it is, because I don't, I clean them like, every like 4 days, but I've seen pictures of just like, my AirPods aren't working, and then people take pictures of the AirPod, and it's just like literally just like earwax just all over the speaker, like a nice thick coat of it, and they have to like scrape it out, and they have to use a magnifying glass and cleaner to get it out of the screen. And I'm like, it just amazes me like how some people, like, hygiene's not a thing.
Yeah, you definitely get those, like, my AirPod quality is bad. And like you look in the thing, it's like you don't even see the mesh anymore. It's just like a solid plug. Disgusting. It's pretty surprising, like the state that some people will bring their stuff in. Like, if I took my car to the mechanic, I'm gonna make sure that the baby diaper is not sitting on the passenger seat before I take it to them. It's just like there's just like snot and stuff all over the screen. Like the keyboard is like sticky, and it's, God, I don't want to touch this. No. Thank God, with COVID regulations, we can walk around with gloves on, and people don't think you're some kind of like stuck up prick about it.
It's like, I'd just be like, if you've seen the shit that I've seen inside computers, you'd be touching everything with gloves or with like a 10-foot stick.
And if a female ever walks in, and this is not sexist, I promise you, but if a female ever walks in and says, my phone's not working and it got wet, there's a 99.9% chance it was dropped in a toilet. Now, the reason that I say that for females is because a lot of girls keep their phones in their back pockets. And when you go to do your business and there's no tension in your back pocket, guess what falls in the toilet?
Yeah.
That happens frequently. And I remember one of my first ones, Ricky, I think you were there for that. This lady hands me her phone. She says it's not working. And I'm sitting there fiddling with it, looking at it. And after a few seconds, she goes, yeah, I dropped it in the toilet. Stop talking, set it down on the desk, walk to the back, come back with a big-ass jug of hand sanitizer and a box of gloves. Clean my hands in front of her, put the gloves on, and said, okay, so you dropped it in the toilet. Probably something you should have told me before I got started touching your gross phone.
Yeah, definitely. Like, that'd be a good thing to know.
Nasty.
Like, I'm just going to go home real quick, take a shower.
The banana one was with you, too, wasn't it, Ricky?
Yeah, we're at the service desk, and she puts down her MacBooks. Like, yeah, the CD drive's not working. And then she just awkwardly pauses and looks over one shoulder very slowly. Looks over the other shoulder very slowly. There's banana in the disk drive. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, so somehow she had stuffed banana inside the disk drive, and it, for some reason, it just stopped working. I don't know why.
Who would have thought?
All our listeners out there, do not put bananas in your disk drive. Apparently, that will make it stop working. Doesn't quite make sense to me, but
maybe she had sliced banana, and she's like, I wonder what this will read, if I stick it in a CD drive. Maybe I can get like a banana footage or something and try to stick it in the CD drive to read her banana.
And it wasn't even like the dried banana chips.
No, it was like a straight up just mushy, fleshy, fruity banana.
I would have blamed it on like Brandy or if I was dating somebody, but like, oh yeah, well, my girlfriend or my wife thought it would be a great idea to stick a banana while I was working on my computer.
Yep.
And the CD drive.
Apples and bananas. Get it?
Like, I'm not owning this one.
Yeah, that was a fun one. We had a couple repeat customers. I remember there was this old dude that would always come in, and it was like clockwork. Like once a month, he would come in to get malware.
The guy with the ducks.
I remember he had like cats. I remember he always had like pictures of his cats.
Cats and ducks. Yeah.
So, he would get this malware on his computer because he would go to not safe for work websites, we'll say. Still had all his tabs, all his windows and everything open, all his Google search history, like right there. And he'll be just sitting there like talking to you the whole time. And it's like right there on the screen. It's like, oh god, dude, can you like shut up for what? Do you see what's on the screen right now? Like, stop, just shut up. I still remember, like, to this, I remember seeing like a Google search that said blonde beautiful women was one of the searches he had on there. Oh god, yeah. Every time that dude came in, I was like, fuck. I knew exactly what the issue was. Like, learn your lesson. How many times we got to teach this lesson, old man? Like, damn. Get like some DVDs or something. Good God. So yeah, he was fun.
That was pretty. That was pretty normal too. People bring in their computers and be like, "It's not working." I was looking at naked pictures and it stopped working. Can you get it off? Yes. Yes. Stop talking. Let me do it. Just yes. I can take care of it, please.
Oh God. Yep. Oh, there was also so we used to do a lot of like classes, like we would teach people like who were like new to Apple or Mac or whatever. And I say generally new people, but you would also get people who wanted to learn like iMovie or GarageBand or what have you on there. And we would do like hour-long classes with these people. But we had one customer in particular, and I won't give her real name, but I'll just call her Mrs. Blue. So Miss Blue would come in almost on a weekly basis to take these classes, or what she would do, because she came so often, she would try to come in and just get like free, like over the counter like classes. But every time like you would show her something, she would literally say the exact same thing. You just right click here, drag and drop there, and there you go. Your problem is solved. Okay. Like, so did you understand I don't know, like a single word that I just said? Can you do that again for me, please? Yep, you just right click it, drag and drop over here, and boom, your problem is solved. You're good to go. Okay. And yeah, just that on repeat for an hour every week. It's great. And she would always ask for me specifically. And she was like,
she only wanted to talk to you.
Is Ricky in? Damn it. She's back.
Maybe she was trying to woo you, take you on a date or something.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I was getting those vibes. I'm not gonna lie. Like, no, Miss Blue. There to say at least
I want
100 years
where's that
difference.
cute one at? I want that Ricky. Where he's he at?
I don't know.
And it was funny because like that was the repair shop that we worked together at for years, and like long after Ricky left, she would still come in there and ask for him, and I had to be like, yeah, Ricky's not here anymore. Well, can you help me? For money, yes I can.
Okay.
Can you explain that one to me again? What is money?
God, it's that will forever be burned into my brain because she said it the exact same way every single time. Let's see. Oh, there was the guy who also had he came in and he had like one of the new, I guess it was like a Retina like 8K display iMac, and he came in like saying he had a 5K dead pixel in his display. So I'm like, okay, I mean, I don't know how in the hell you could possibly see one dead pixel with who knows how many pixels are in an 8K display. So like this dude is like literally like, like the binoculars that you do like when you're trying to see if somebody's home or like if the store's open,
Mm-hmm.
Like, hello, is anybody in there? This dude is doing that to his display, like scanning the entire 27-inch surface of this display, trying to find this one little dead pixel that's on the screen. And like, no matter what we did for this guy, because I remember we ended up replacing the display, and then he came back again saying that it was the exact same thing. It's like, no, dude, there's no possible way you can see one dead pixel out of billions and billions. I don't know. That one stuck. I still have I remember sneaking a picture of this guy. I snuck picture of this guy doing the binoculars on his display. because it was just ridiculous.
Face to the glass.
Yeah,
Yes.
like eyeball to the glass.
You're making me think. You're making me think right now because I could have sworn on one of my videos I had a dead pixel on one of my. So I've got the 5K iMac. As you can see, the screen's super bright right now. I was watching a movie and I was just like, "That's not." There it is.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Mike's gonna start doing it.
There it is. I found it. So I knew I had one. I knew I have one. It's right here. You had to go super bright and put a white background on it, and it's the only pixel that's black.
Yep.
Or not colored. I knew I had a dead pixel on there, but I was just like, "You sure it wasn't me, Ricky, that was going in there and playing that whole entire? There's a pixel dead."
Oh, actually, now that you say that, damn, right, this whole time.
This whole time.
Now I remember. So this is the last like one that I can remember off the top of my head, but I remember our the overall store manager, and Chris, I think you might have been here for this, but so we had a customer who was writing a novel and had been writing a novel for over a year. I think it was like over 2+ years he'd been writing this thing, maybe even over 4 years. He was writing this book, and something came up to where I forget exactly what the issue was, but he like specifically asked before we did anything to the computer to make sure that we made a fresh backup of all of his stuff. So got him checked in, got his external everything set up in the back so I can go ahead and back up his stuff. And when I come back into the back, our store manager, for whatever reason, decided, because he never comes back here and does anything in the shop, but for whatever reason with this particular computer, he walks over to it. He's like, "Oh yeah, I got it. I got this one," and just immediately proceeds to reformat this dude's hard drive. That just wipes everything. No. And the dude is like literally standing like 5 feet away from me on the opposite side of the wall at the service counter. And I'm like, "What did you just do? Like, what did you like?" I mean, I was so pissed. And what like set me off was the fact that he made, like, the manager made me go out and tell the guy that we just erased all his stuff.
Literally unrecoverable at that point.
That was like ridiculous. Like,
well, he's no longer an Apple fan, right? Yeah. So I was like, "Fuck these guys."
I don't think that manager's with the company any longer either. Or am I wrong?
They totally rehired him, and then he quit like 3 weeks later. So
cool.
No, he's not there anymore.
Yeah, that was a grand old time. I remember it very fondly.
I remember last one for me, that guy with the MacBook Air who talked to the service manager, and he told him, I don't remember what he told him. I just remember watching the camera footage of the guy taking the MacBook Air and just bashing it over the counter.
Wait, what?
I thought the service manager?
No,
the service manager did that.
No, so the service manager told the customer something. I think it was like his computer was out of warranty or like liquid damage or whatever, and the customer just stood there and like a second later, just full swings, like he's trying to bend it in half, bashes the computer over the counter, and like hits it 2 or 3 times, and just left it laying there on the floor and walked out.
Jeez,
well, it's certainly not covered. But like, the service manager's like, this dude was like, so this is the guy that trained Ricky and I. He's just like so like unfazed by life altogether. just stands there the whole time with his hands on the counter, just watching this guy bash his computer over the counter over and over. Walks out, and I would bet he probably said, "Have a good day."
Who's next?
Next. Number 936.
But yes, you see crazy stuff working in repair shops. It's fun.
It's like maybe the reason I don't remember that one is because I feel like that's not all that uncommon of an occurrence. I feel like that would have happened many, many times.
So
Probably
those
not.
are some crazy ass stories. Nothing. Chris, I know you. I've known you sent me some crazy pictures of some iMacs. Or MacBooks and whatnot, and be like, "Oh, look what I just found," or "Look at what this guy just brought in," and I certainly did not expect to hear any of those stories, like maggots, cockroaches, bananas. Oh, Jesus Christ! Like, So I think that pretty much wraps us up for today. Don't want to go any longer. I know I can talk about Apple forever. Anyway, so my weekly recommendation is get outside and do something. The weather's getting nice, but go out and do some exercising. I've been hitting like almost 12,000 steps a day. Things are dying down. Just go outside and get some exercise and enjoy that fresh air. That's what my recommendation is for this week. But thanks for joining us on this episode of the Pixelated Porch. Guess we can roll the intro, outro, whatever. I did the same thing Ricky just did last week. Roll that intro. Let's start this all over again.
This has been the Pixelated Porch Podcast. We are the Friendly Nerds, Ricky, Chris, and Mike. If you'd like to follow us on social media, check us out on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. Just search Pixelated Porch, and also be sure to check out our Discord.
Wait, I thought you said we were going to be talking about the fruit apples.
Slight bit of confusion. Yeah, I was on the same page as you, Chris. I was ready to go. I had Googled up all the different apple types.
Yes, of course. So. Fruits. Red Delicious, dude.
Yeah,
Okay.
Honey Crisp.
Yeah.
Honey
Yeah.
Crisp or Red Delicious are definitely the best.
You guys can both shut the hell up because Granny Smith apples are where it's at.
The good news is none of us said that green sour were the best. So I think.
Well, isn't that Granny Smith though? Isn't Granny Smith green?
Yes.
And they got like that bitter sour taste.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
All right. This has been the Pixelated Porch Podcast.
Bye.